For our 8-8 portal, we get to close on out with some channeled guidance for my 5D collective. Those are the people who know that sharing our heart and soul and being vulnerable, no mask, and that is whether you are talking to somebody romantically or as a friend, that if they turn their back around like Cusco does to Pacha and the whole backstabbing, you don't say, I won't ever love again. I'm going to keep my barriers up in boxing gloves. Okay, so those stories remind me of my teenage years. Just saying. And then when I got older, and now I notice that people got older, I'm like, Terry real. There's a good therapist for any person who has doubts in love life. And then there's apps, and then you continue with therapy. So that's number one, okay? And that's why nobody does anybody any favors by getting vulnerable, meaning that it happens. It's called you and I might not match, and that if you're a Cusco, the fact that you won't text me back, you won't give me explanation, you won't, well, you know what happens when people have the unfinished business, so they don't know how to love themselves first, don't know how to love another person, don't know how to talk to you, they don't know how to handle anything. If they do, authentic people, they come and they actively have a conversation. That's what it is to repair when things happen to the extent of where I know that I actively treated a person in a specific way. And that's where you will find that those who are authentically healing, borderline personality, narcissism, sociopathy, psychopathy, the childhood trauma survivors with their therapists, they all actively, with good therapists, will contact human beings romantically and not. That's part of their healing process, because they will become aware completely of how they split with borderline and narcissism. It happens. Okay, Kylie, thank you for all the ways that you helped me know what happens. Her sociopath boyfriend knew what was happening when she split. When she said, you're the one, no, he said, you're the one. And she split on him. And she threw everything out, treated him certain ways. Okay, so the maladaptive child behavior is one that will involve also potential drug addictions and other stuff. So you will be informed, and that's how you are a pair. If you're healing, the people who are healing authentically, then they have a healthy self-worth partner, and both. No masks, this is what it means. Our 8-8 portal is beautiful for the 5D collective of women and men and days. If you're a mystic, you'll be knowing and noticing. I noticed today the energies are all over the place, okay? So if somebody tells you, I love you, you're the one, and they split on you, if they know they split, they're going to come back around like Kylie did. If they don't know they split, then they won't, unless they do recognize, because they go and heal, okay? And that's when people who are healthy self-worth, divine feminines, that's because we have inner child adult here, okay? So again, Jesus taught me about forgiveness. Dr. Daniel Siegel talks about it, and all good therapists. And anybody who becomes attachment trauma informed, you don't hold any of that story of Lucifer and demons and devils and energy vampires and dark auras, okay, and not taking people or take it. There's no stereotypes and generalizations. If you are an educated human being at this point in our lovely, thank goodness, history, so 8888, infinity and beyond. And so if I tell you how much I love you and you think that that means that you have power over me, wrong. That's a distortion. If you think that telling somebody else that you love them and you can't or don't want to live without them, you know, those lovely romantic things that people do when they trust each other and they say, I love you forever, and then they mean it, okay? So the only people who say it and don't mean it, they're the same ones who actively, well, we'll leave them to the side. They're not here. Your power does not lie in how a person receives what you will have given and offered and shared. So being vulnerable is a moment that we share, which is why any divine feminine with their own divine masculine and a divine masculine with their own divine feminine will be appreciative of sharing life together. You have 24 hours. This is exactly why, as a mortal being, you won't be saying that was a waste of time. You won't be saying I regret what I chose. You don't use these negative words, and it's not toxic positivity. It's called mindfulness, mindsight, and mindset. And actively, you have 24 hours, and all the stories that they will have ever created in their 2024 5D Mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group. When you wake up in the morning, and I already knew this as a kid, As Marcus Aurelius talks sense to me, I wake up in the morning, I'm awoke. I go to sleep, I don't know if I wake up. I don't know if I'll get to say I love you to you. So you think I'm going to waste divine feminine 1 second of my time to wait for you to get? No. This is the exact reason why twin flame or flames or soulmates, divine feminine will say, I nurtured, I told, I spoke, that's it. I'm not holding a cord. What do you think? Is this some rodeo? It's a tango. Tango means you want to dance with me and not with boxing gloves. Otherwise, no, that's something called a boxing match and not interested. That's not love. What are you doing? That's not even protection. It's common sense of the left and the right together of a person who has healthy self-worth. So the only people who follow any saga or drama are the same ones who are emotionally unavailable to each other because they say, I don't trust people, Maria. They broke my heart. They lied to me. They lied again. Open relationship, anyone? Because men seem to not know how to tell the truth, and then they have a 3-year-old and they don't go get therapy and they still don't know how to be. So I'm going to leave that one. People disempower themselves so long as they believe other people knowing about their emotions have power over them. You know how they also lie to themselves? I don't have emotions. No, it's not true. No, it's not true. I'm not taking it personally. And it's, wow, sure you're not. Okay, I am taking it personally, but I learned not to. This is what happens when you have a good relationship with your divine feminine, because I got a child-centered environment. Okay. So, emotions. Some people call it just data. And that people need to learn to process the data more accurately and then make more heart-centered decisions. Yes, you come here when you're ready to be a human being with a heart and not treat your emotions like it's laundry. It's called you have a mind, heart. Harmony. The self-help here, spiritual. It's when you know it's a process and it's a lifestyle. And it's not a process because you're a machine. It's a process because whatever comes up, you have the opportunity to share with me your heart. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But don't bullshit me. So people that bullshit each other, it's only for the bullshit not detectors. The ones who have the same wool pulled over their eyes. That's not here. Here we talk about authenticity. So when you can finally put words to the deep feelings that are inside of you, that is when you will know how to validate yourself. And then when you can say, I'm a mermaid and not be upset, oh, and I don't want to play with you, that's when you'll know how to come join us. Because seriously, whenever people think that they've done something special by getting vulnerable romantically or friendship-wise, it makes me think of, you just used my time. I used your time. We already did something special. Do you know that tomorrow I might die and I spent time hearing you and you spent time hearing me? So I'm giving without wanting to receive anything. I'm not worrying about how you're going to interpret or misinterpret what I say with your Cusco ears, which happens all the time, by the way, except for those who are not Cusco ears. So you share your time and my time together. And when it's true love, it doesn't hide itself from you. Yeah, so that's very easy. Fear is easy to spot for a divine feminine. It's a masculine who, as the rabbi points out, has a hard time committing. The thing is, Cuscos are bullshitters. I saw them as a teenager. They don't know how to be kind. They don't know how to tell you the truth. They always have fear. Then they grow up and have more fear, and then it just seems to be keeping on going unless they get off that island. And Pinocchio actually, you know what's sad about the Pinocchio story is he had to first lose his father. Unimpressed. Pure consciousness is unimpressed when behind a motive comes that you fell down on your floor. I mean, again, I want to be taking a step back here. I have a child-centric environment. I have Jesus and God. I didn't forget where I came from. Others, apparently, they don't get determined in their first 3 years of life, and then they're okay with treating people like pieces of shit until they maybe figure out that they can get good therapy. I don't blame anyone. The thing about blaming Lucifer is that that's a story. I have answers. It's called either you get healed and then you know how to be a kind, decent human being, or you're going to be in the box of 1 to 7, 7 to 14, 14 to 22, and then all the other ones, 3D, 4D, for a person that knows what it means to say, I'm not being kind because I have to. I actively was told, 1, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. My heart still remembers it. 2, what was it? Wait for it. That one. Treat others the way you want to be treated. 3, the word love, L-O-V-E, means open heart. If I say I love you, I'm not going to do it with a closed heart. And if I'm afraid, I'm going to say I'm afraid to love you. If I'm sad, I'm going to say I'm sad. If I'm angry, I'm going to say I'm mad. If I'm happy, I'm going to say I'm happy. If I'm surprised, I'm going to say I'm surprised. And why would I hide myself from you? I thought we were in this together. Did I confuse what love and a relationship is? I don't think so. So the only ones who are liar, liar, pants on fire, well, attachment and trauma explains to you what people do, which is why it's not a story. And it's not boring, by the way, to actively know how to walk a walk and talk a talk, which is why you'll spot a liar a mile away. They will confuse their words, and a divine feminine will be able to hear it. We just won't point it out, like Pacha does at the end with Cusco. We don't tell Cusco he's lying because people don't own their unconsciousness or subconscious. Yeah, it's actually something I told my 4D friends about. They don't understand it. I do. Actively, when I have my lovely men friends come up to me and do things like, you know you want it, and not like this. My friend's face was serious. I just didn't have the shame button because I don't have one, because I didn't do anything wrong by being friendly and laughing with people, and I actively don't think of any gender stereotypes. I actively know that unkind human beings need a good therapist, and they don't want one. In fact, this is another one. Am I not a decent enough human being? Wow, I thought 3 years of consistent communication would have made the whole he said, she said pretty clear, but apparently it doesn't work. That's the one thing human beings in general will have told me. Did you say it right? Did you say it right? Maybe you didn't speak loud enough. Maybe you didn't explain yourself well. Maybe you didn't give clear enough messages. You know what it's like to consistently be told that maybe you didn't say it the right way? Manipulation. Yeah, sure. We know how to use our words, and then we know how to use our brains, and that's why I can look pretty and be quiet, and that's the best way to go out, because anytime you're meeting a stupid human being, you meet a person who might have who knows what torture, but they don't have the capacity to go and figure it out. No, they want to blame the devil, Lucifer, or demons, and they lack actively the education. So, it is what it is. 5D Collective. I'm very happy that you will have found this lovely podcast, because believe me, 4D, they're all over a lot of stuff. We even have scientists who are trying to prove reality doesn't exist with AI. I mean, wow. Now, that's funny, but that's why I'm the woo-woo spiritual lady, okay? So our 8-8 portal is a beautiful 8-8 portal for 5D Collective, because we don't have gold in our hearts. We have an active heart. I got my heart gifted back to me. It was a beautiful day when I got to see that. Oh, it was so pretty. Indigo, rainbow baby, a rainbow baby. Yes. And so there's rainbow babies, there's indigo babies, there's earth babies. For any of you who are curious, they are that. I'm going to have an audio for our 8-8 portal, I decided. So you can tune into the podcast if you want. I'll continue the channeled guidance messages on there. But in the meantime, thank you for stopping by. For our lovely divine masculines and divine feminines who are in the 5D Collective, they know all about how love is a constant. And it's conversations, it's not accusations. We don't manipulate words in an effort to do 714 charming. They're busy trying to, no, they're not busy trying. They have an in-group and an out-group. You'll hear them loudly speak to you with words such as lack of imagination for evil. Wow. Or, here's the best. Yoga brings demons out of you. Wow, Reiki, theologian, really qualitative data. My gosh, I can't even begin to say people with cloaks. Thought you'd awaken to the possibility to save something, but you know what masculines are? Well, they're busy with their little chisel, not even noticing their faces right up on the elephant's hand, because that's what happens when you're so focused on your in-group 14 months old. The brain that learns knows how to actually hear what you were learning, learn about all of it, and then say, it's fascinating. And then remember, when you wake up in the morning, science is existential physics with Sabine, dark matter, dark energy. I'm okay with it. You know why? Because again, as a teen, Marcus Aurelius, come on in. Maria, why are you going to worry about death? You won't know. God, I don't want to die. Well, you don't know. Leave it alone. Man, really? Akash, can I stay forever? That's not how it works. FYI, Divine Feminine does know that. In my future, where I know my future husband, and I also know the future bad people of my dream, they're not bad, but actively hear me out, and I'll let you all go, because this is for my community. I know you're going to be curious. So, as I was saying, double infinity, okay? And I do understand this this thing that we forget, not in the way the 4D, which they always talked about dark night of the soul, ego death. I mean, that line just gets so boring. You start hearing it, you're like, are they always tortured? What's up with the torture chamber shit? Do they not know how to do emotions? Why are they not doing emotions? I don't understand why they're not in bliss. Oh, a Zen master. So sorry, Zen master, come on over. There's some people for laundry over there. So putting all the people who are tortured by emotions, they don't want to own their 1-year-old or 3-year-old. What I can tell you about this infinity and beyond, I was, again, a teen when I faced the dramatic, okay, I'm so upset about this, and Marcus Aurelius comes in, and that's great, and then I continued to grow, and then I got my clairs, and so when I did see my future, I didn't know who my husband was going to be. Oh, I never forget that dream. It was one of my first astral travels. I told my soul sister, because she's into all of these things, she introduced me to my clairs, to all of it, all the chit chatter that I do. Okay. So I said, hey, listen to what happens in my future. Here's my dream. And I tell her all about it. And then years pass from that dream. And I'm actively, I expanded my themes. Okay, so bear with me. Divine feminines, stay with me. And masculines, you will only know what I'm talking about if you get your clairs active. Okay, so we have both your masculine and feminine energy. You got both of them, but the divine feminines are the ones who have already the spiritual connection if they don't get lost on else's journey. The masculines, I'm going to say, I think it depends if you want to believe in the plane of mysticism, because you can access, obviously, the relationship, but if you think it's bullshit, then you won't be interested in any of it. So that's why it's choices, and I get it. But so I don't know who my husband is or my kids. I don't know who any of the people are on this ship that I end up on. Time passes, and I do know it's the future, that I won't give you details. But I end up expanding my lovely heart to loving more than one person. I get twin flames and not one twin flame anymore. And then I also get to go through a whole heart. By the way, our heart is what expands during lion season. And in fact, you'll notice that a lot of people are expanding, and it's in a beautiful way for the 5D collective. 4D are tortured. Right now, they're all tortured. I don't like to say it, but I've actively stayed in touch with all those 4D tarot readers, and yes, they're all tortured like shit. Again, just sounds the same. Every year it's the same stuff. So for 5D Collective, we are enjoying our spiritual awakening, our self-help. All of Emotion Land is cool, and that's why you come here for more of it, but you're already happy. You're not coming to places for pain in a way of, I'm tortured. Otherwise, you're going, I don't want to do it. I want life now. That's what people do when they're tortured by their emotional stuff. Okay, so I'm going through my own expansion, and I am in a specific place with all of my lovely stuff. And I get to have the most amazing of encounters. And I instinctively will have known, okay, we serve a purpose. What just happened serves a purpose. Because you'll feel it here, you'll know it here, and then you'll channel it here. Okay, and so in this year, I know what's happening. And I get a download of the human being. And I recognize the energetic imprint. And as I'm having this download, because something's happening, decisions are being made. Oh, they're not the decisions you're going to think, but it's okay. I'm not going to spread the details. I'm keeping it private. But the download comes, I get the energetic imprint. I say, he's my husband. I'm like, what the fuck? This is how it works. And I'm washing the dishes as I'm having this download. So it's like a movie screen behind the scenes. And I'm like, okay, wow, that's fascinating, and so that's my first hit. And then I think I share it with friends. And then I'm like, but who else is in my future? Because I know that they're a caring connection, but what about all the other people? And then I figure out who some of the other people are, because that's how it works. You can ask and you'll get the information. Now, obviously, this is where 5D Mystic doesn't talk about these things with people as if they're a fact. Only the 4D does this. We actively are aware that we don't know. I mean, I won't remember being Maria, so it's common sense. It's not a big deal. But as a person who knows myself, I know that I'm happy that I know my future. In fact, I like to know. You see how a person who has balance with their own divine feminine, my inner child, and that's my 1 year old, my 3 year old, I'm not kidding with you all right now, and then my mind, Maria, wants to know. And really, us as humans, we want to know things, secondary consciousness, which is why I can break anything down from mystic to sciences and give you an explanation. Because I'm not a liar, pants on fire. I have emotions that rule me, and I have thoughts that rule me. I don't have a story. We got plenty of stories. You know what the data is? There's gravity. And the people who are trying to, no, okay, I'm not a flat earther. That's my point. And so, on that note, channeling is amazing for 5D mystic. Not anything different. We don't get tortured by our twin flame or flames or soulmates. We're choice points actively to choose to do the right thing. The right thing is you're human. I'm going to talk to you. That's it. Not cast stones, not say I forgave you, not say any of. The minute they made twin flames out to be the shit show they did, I'm like, you're insulting my divine masculines. That's the first thing, is they insulted human beings, because anytime you talk about someone as stupid, you're insulting another human being, in my book, because we're all stupid. You've taken yourself out of the picture. For me, you're a Cusco. Now, the only people who can actively and have talked sense to me, here's why divine feminine will know what she is, and she'll know when she meets divine masculines. I have a very good divine masculine that talks very much good sense. You know why? Because they actively allowed the Ariel with a tail to be Ariel with a tail. And they allowed themselves to be their own self. And that's what happens when love is present. It's because you're going to be you, I'm going to be me, and then we're going to get to know. And that's when you're going to get mesmerized, because that's what happens when somebody impresses you, because they're intellectually, emotionally, and physically their name. Use your human name, thank you very much, and they don't hide behind some fucking mask. No, not even a little bit. They actually get in your face, which is really something that we appreciate. Not in the way of like my other friend who got in my face just the same, but that was because I put my friend in his place, quote unquote. So here, I'll share the story. This is a friend of mine. He's a mystic. I'm pretty sure he has altars, but that's where I'm not going to do the armchair diagnosing. But in the 3 years that I've been around them, and in the way Dr. Daniel Siegel has explained what happens when we meet altars, you will notice, because you have a feeling and something switches up. And my friend went from being, you know, when Superman goes to change his from Clark Kent to Superman, yeah, my friend, I see this human being throughout the years, 3 years, he's a pirate. Then he's like Superman with the Clark Kent suit. Then he's so I'm like, this is interesting. So long story short, though, he did this thing where he actively created a situation, but it's not a situation for me, because I know how to always be a person who will tell people the truth, independently from how it's taken. You can throw shit in my face, it's okay. I won't be lying or hiding it. That's exactly why when I look to the past, I don't have regrets. You will only have regrets when you will not have consistently in your life. I'm 44, and so again, I have secure attachment. I don't lie because I was not raised to be a liar, because I was not fear-mongered as a child. So I'm not ashamed of having emotions. I'm not ashamed of being teased. I don't feel bullied, all these words that other people use. I actively found out that the entire school bus apparently wanted to beat me up. I didn't know about that. I actively asked about homework on a Friday evening, and all these people booed me, and I don't remember this in any awful way. I do remember that anyone who would have touched me, they know I was the goody two-shoes. I didn't give a shit. Touch me. Try me. Let me go rat on you. Now, I won't wait. I don't give a shit what you're telling me, because there's a way to treat each other that I got taught. Use your mouth. You don't need to use your hands. Anytime you're going to do any unlawful things, there's the law, okay? So it's pretty straightforward how to maintain decency and not to say humans suck, people suck, da-da-da-da-da, all these things. So long story short, my friend, he creates the situation. It's not a situation for me. I do what I know I'm going to do, which is clear it up, but at the same time, it was awkward. So he created an awkward situation, and he comes back around And he's back to whatever his personality, whichever one he switched back to. And he addresses me. He addresses this situation. He says, "You were cold to me. You didn't say hello to me in a way that was nice." And I said, "Well, you created this situation. So yeah, that situation, you're right. But then I saw you do this thing, and then I saw that you were in a monogamous and monoamory relationship, and as a polyamory person, I know that maybe your girlfriend would have taken, I didn't know how to behave. I noticed that you got a little cold, so I decided to stand back and leave it alone." So then he says, "No, I would never." And I was like, okay, well, we're all good, aren't we? So basically, we're good. But because I gave him a review, a recap of how things actively went, which was when it got awkward, yeah, it got awkward because you did something that didn't need to happen. When you presented yourself a couple of more times with a girlfriend, I didn't know how to behave because you got cold with me, so I just left it alone. So I put him in this place means I told a 16-year-old what happened. 16-year-old's not really happy about what I told them because, I don't know, you'd ask me. But they came back around after not even shortly, 5-10 minutes, and they are in this passive-aggressive way telling me, because there's a friend of mine, that we have fun and play and you want it, why don't you give it to him? And that was in this statement way, though, which is where other people would have taken it differently. I didn't, because it's a 16-year-old with a broken-hearted 3-year-old, and it's a human being who needs a therapist, not me to scold them, because they're not gonna hear me. Even if I wanted to interact in a way that a person who is not mature emotionally, mentally, and physically, so they don't know their own healthy self-worth, it's not about right or wrong. I'm explaining to you something. I have healthy self-worth. My name's Maria. His words didn't offend me. I know actively, not only intellectually, emotionally, and physically what I was dealing with. It's a human being who reacted because they didn't like what they heard, and their unconscious is completely something they can get a hold of if they go to good therapy. You know why I know they need one? Because of what they shared with me, which is exactly why the day they put me in that awkward situation, I was like, wow, I just told you I'm completely uninterested in you, completely, romantically, all of it. You're just a friend, and you actively did something that was completely the opposite of what I told you, because you are a person who is avoidant. So you know now that I'm not available emotionally because I'm not interested in you emotionally. So it's safe territory, but also you like to create situations that involve drama. And you decided to do something that you actively thought would have brought about drama, which it didn't, because drama is only created by people who have low self-esteem, which I don't. And I actively am not a liar, which is also why I don't hide things from people that I care about. I tell them to their face, even if they might say, "You're a bitch, you're a witch." I will still tell you the truth. I won't hide. Why should I hide myself? I have nothing to hide. I didn't break a law. And if I did, I'd turn myself in. That's exactly how healthy self-worth works. If you want to be a member of society, that is. I mean, if you want to live movies, hey, catch me if you can. Anyone watch the movie? Did you notice what happens to the person? They get caught. So the individuals who are emotionally, mentally, and physically on our lovely 5D, this is, again, Mystic Town right now. I'm not talking to you as a person. I'm talking to you right now as a mystic. And any person who understands why, good. If not, it's okay. It's storytelling, food for thought, nothing serious going on. We are chit-chatting like we're in the living room. That's what social media is for. If I wanted to be an academic, I'd be in academia. I chose not to. So, love, it's a consistency, and so are the people who choose to go on Pinocchio's island, and they humor those of us who are divine feminines, not because we're happy to see people throw their life away, no, because rabbi, feminine, oh, we're okay with starting something new. We know when it's going to last, and we won't be surprised if it doesn't, because, as I was informed by men who apparently teach men the very words that I'm about to share with you, which is completely, well, 7 to 14 charming. They all are Peter Pans with Lost Boys, because it's the only reason that I can actively, even remotely. So here's the deal. A man, ladies, guess what? Why he won't text you back. You want to hear? In a 1-minute short, this human being with a proper suit, with proper verbiage, they look like fantastic with their lovely little setup, everything. It's perfect. Mwah. A man, right after fucking you, will feel contempt and disgust towards you, and shame. And I was wondering where the punchline was of they need therapy or something. And then I was wondering, am I supposed to feel ashamed of myself for sleeping with them, or sad for them that they feel shame? Or am I supposed to be upset that they feel contempt or disgust? I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. No, I do know. I feel zero, except for the fact that you opened up your mouth and didn't do anything except for create what is what? I don't know. Wait, there's an in group and an out group. That's right, I forgot. There's men out there who actively compare. This is a psychologist. This is a dude on YouTube. I'm just saying, ladies, wait, come here. Let me inform you about this one. Besides a lady with the Venus, a goddess of May, who informs us about fucking and not thinking about wedding bells. Don't worry, Venus, a goddess of May. We also, though, won't keep the man with a leash. You go find your own meaning, please. I ain't giving you meaning if you don't know how to wake up in the morning and make sense of life. I'm not really sure why you're talking to me as stupid. Don't you know you have secondary consciousness, human being? Zen master, where are you? Laundry. So this is how people don't motivate themselves. I got laundry, Maria. But you're on YouTube, I see. So this other dude, this one, well, I thought he was joking. I was like, this has to be a joke. He must be playing to the crowd. This can't be. You know, like when they tell you that they write scripts for those TV series, not serials. No, the TV series, the ones that are, what are they called? Reality shows. I didn't know that, and then I found out. Okay, so with that being said, he talks about women and fucking women and having a woman basically with dresses. And he's on screen. Women, imagine you buy a dress and you find out it's used. And now I'm being brought back to my teenage years when I'm around ignorant human beings who actively talk about sex in ways that I was like, what? They're uninformed. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, you know what? I think I need to inform. I don't know what to do here. I'm not the grown up. I think I'm going to leave this herd. I'm going to go with other herds. Okay, so this man, he's an adult man, psychologist on YouTube, talking like this. Ends up letting all the women know that if he was with a woman who had better sex with another man, that he would break up with her. And I'm thinking, wow, he didn't hear his unconscious come up and him not go to therapy to get healthy self-worth on board with himself. No, he just spelled out something completely that lets me know you have low self-esteem. And wow, I'm not even offended again, because to be offended would mean that I had low self. I don't get offended. Anyone understand not having a shame button yet? Yeah, you don't get offended. The offended thing is when it's personal, and if you're a teenager and you're still taking it personally, because that's the last time I got offended. In fact, it did happen. I was accused of something. I'll never forget that day, because I got up in my pissy little pants as a 16-year-old. I was like, that's not true. And I was all angry. Oh, no, I was 18 or 19. Yeah, I remember who told it to me. And then I said, shit, I can't do anything about this. I actively have no power. Is it a dilemma for divine feminine? Fuck no. Well, I guess I have to accept. If one day my honor is broken, I will accept. But like my cousin Vinny, you find out that you can prove yourself innocent, and then people keep wanting to tell you that you can't, and then you say, let me think. So do I give a shit if I can't prove my innocence, but I stay clear with my conscience? Nope, I'm good with clear with my conscience, which is why when you meet any of those who are wise, Sadhguru will share with you. It's in one of his, let me see if I can find it. I kept you long enough, so I might as well just extend us a little bit longer. It's a really good lesson, but he tells you how if you are going to do anything, do not in any way, shape, or form betray your own state of consciousness. Otherwise, you will not sleep at night. Does anybody know what a child does? This is why the determined thing is very serious. This is why my friend, when he did his little passive-aggressive thing, it's his 3-year-old with his 16-year-old. Anybody watch? There's a movie. There's a movie of this, it's Italian actually. So it's a teacher, and he has a situation happen where the kids of his now girlfriend don't like him. So they keep on playing tricks. And they play a really bad trick. They play such a bad trick that the girlfriend breaks up with him. And he says, I didn't do what they said. I didn't. But she won't believe him. And so he ends up being kicked out and sent away. And I won't be able to find it like this, so I'm not going to look for it. But essentially, she finds out, the mother of the children find out that the kids lied because they see how upset she is. She was happy with the boyfriend and da da da, but also because of them lying. So sooner or later, kids will want to tell the truth if they have a good relationship in the home. Obviously, if they're being beaten, that's not going to happen. This is why it does change what kind of upbringing you have. But you end up seeing that the man didn't leave because he's in the garage. I forget all of it, but he says, no, I didn't leave because I know children. I work with them as a teacher. And they will eventually tell you the truth because children are innocent in this way, that they don't want to hurt someone in a way that is, that's what a child, they will be mean, but they will not be mean. This is why smart people know humans are not inherently good or evil, and when you learn attachment and trauma, you're not going to be confused about what pure consciousness is, which is why you can break it down as a mystic, you can break it down as a scientist person, you can be a pseudoscience woo-woo lady. If you're a person who's in the 5D collective, you will have followed all of what we just chit-chatted about, and love is a constant. And anyone who gets passive aggressive in my book, and any divine feminine, which is a somatic empath, will know that that person needs a therapist at the very bare minimum. It's nothing offensive. You don't have, this word means nothing. It's only if you're still a growing up teenager that you get offended in this way, or you're a person who still has low self-esteem. You have healthy self-worth. You're mature emotionally, mentally, physically. You know how to take it. You know how to talk. You know how society has opinions. You're a flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain. This is where you are if you're a pure piece of consistent consciousness, which is why change, and you don't feel changed. When people say you've changed, I say, no, I've expanded. And in fact, you feel more of yourself. When I fit back into myself, that's what came out of my mouth. Wow, I'm back to me again. Yay. And that's why a 5D mystic will love being able to channel. And when I found out about my future husband and where he comes from, I know how he began. And it made sense because I chose, in this one of my lifetimes, I chose to commit to returning back to Earth. And that's only one reason why you're going to keep coming back. I won't share the details, but when I found out through a download, I was like, that makes sense because of all of what people do to each other. It's very sad for any person who has a relationship with, again, that which is life. And the bad people of my future, the reason they're the bad people is they're testing to try and have life last forever. And they are not approved by those who are our lovely universal law galaxy, the ones who monitor everything. I know, again, it sounds like a movie. Believe me. They're like, did you watch something? Did you smoke? I don't do drugs. I didn't drink anything. So they actively are trying to test so that life can continue forever, but that is not how it works. And an expert yogi, as Sadhguru will share, will know about darkness and Shiva. That all comes from nothing, and to nothing it returns. And that's where it's not something that takes you off guard when you're a divine feminine, because you're using this, and then you have this, and you don't have a story. That's why mystics, it's not only about belief. We understand, experience, perceive, and have a direct relationship with that which is unavailable. And unlike sciences, who are people who use their left mode, which is why there is a difference. See, the sciences are looking for stuff. Like the bad people of my future, they're sciences. I'll never forget their coats, and I know what they were doing as I walked that ship and tried to keep my herd, my family, and the people that I came with safe. And we did. I got the continuation of my dream. Now that, I'd keep you on forever, but that one, oh, this was through an Akashic record reading, because I got asked for Akashic record readings from a lovely bunch of people, And one of which, their avatar came to me. I didn't even get to the session. Their avatar came to me and began giving me downloads. I had to sit down. That anyone who's a channeler, you know what I'm talking about, because once the information comes, you need to write it. You need to voice it. You need to do shit with it. Otherwise, you won't be left alone. And so I'm here. Her avatar came to me. I'm like, wow. And I'm like download. I wake up and I'm still downloading. So I said, okay, you have to sit down for this one. And as I'm downloading, I get to see the spaceship that I'm on, and actively she's the one who saves me, my husband, and all the people. No, me, my husband. I don't know what happens to the other people, but I tell my future husband, I say, hey, guess what? We're saved. And again, in this ridiculous way, but it's actually quite cool. It's really cool. And so it's fun. It's fun to be a mystic. It's fun to be here. I look forward to being back tomorrow with more for our lovely 88 portal. And thank you for stopping by. Subscribe, like, if there's anyone who is into one, spiritual self-help, and if you are mystic and you need support to walk through your clairs and through your active energy body expansion, I do one-to-one mentorship. And now I'm getting serious again. The masterclass is going to be focused on spiritual self-help, but without the necessity of you believing. So spiritual, what I have realized as a word, it integrates and really is AKA an integrated brain, functional adults. Okay, so spirituality and sciences here at IHP come together. You don't have to believe in any of it, but I integrate because the reality is when you are doing a personal development, self-help, and any of the practices here, you will hear different terms perhaps and stuff like that, but also because, I'm pretty sure people who are only sciences focused, they're not going to be interested in a woo-woo lady. You know what I mean? It makes sense to me. So I'm happy to collaborate with my colleagues and all of those who are supporting people to heal trauma, one person at a time, one relationship at a time. That is what love is all about. To overflow with our lovely humanity is why divinity descends. It's not divinity in a way of the God thing. No. In fact, actually, I heard this lady, one of my tarot readers, I watch her, SO Tarot. In fact, some of the data or the information that I shared today, I think I quote her for you. I don't remember in which episode, but long story short, she says something about if you tell a 30-year-old man that he's God, he'll believe you. I don't know where this comes from, but I understood what she's saying, and here's why nobody needs to be using that word in that way. When I think of Nietzsche, another book of Nietzsche, this is a teenager who's writing it in my book because he says every superior human being, the fact that you need to talk about human being as superior tells me you don't know that we are unique already, each and every one of us. So you added an adjective to something that is not needing to be made more beautiful. So you're a teenager who's exaggerating and you don't understand the actual essence of love and life in its entirety, because that whole double infinity again is meaningful, meaningless, all one and the same. Doesn't take away from the heart though, you see? So every superior human being will instinctively aspire after secret citadel where he is set free from the crowd, the many, the majority. Who wants to be the masses? Bah! Which is why any teenager will remember teasing people, and then you grow up and say, well, we all can be bah. And that's why when people ran off of Facebook, I was like, that's a bunch of, okay, 7 to 14 charming, you keep on getting people, huh? But then again, they don't want to be their 1-year-olds, so they actually use words to make themselves sound fancy, and that's when you know you don't have an enlightenment person. No, not yet. You'll know when they're enlightened because they understand darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. Da, 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 da. Yes, silence doesn't grow fonder or have any relationship. By the way, you choose silence. I know we're not doing shit. Oh, don't worry. I won't come text you back. I might, but I'll just be having fun in a way of, hey, Cusco, what's up? It's Pacha. How's it going? Are you good? Yeah. Peace out, Pacha. Have fun. Pachas and Cuscos, we have fun together. But anyways, we'll be back with more. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and be ready for that 88 portal. Who knows what surprise with the lion's roar, the lion with an open heart. And I love seeing all of those people who are authentically healing. So that's, again, support each other. And for the ones who don't want to play, well, it's okay. We thank them for their time, for the life moments, and I do know that any person who will not like another person, did anybody not know that there's 8 billion? Did you think all human beings would like you? I'm just saying, 1-year-old, 3-year-old, anyone. I got told at 4, you're not likable, you're too serious. Now I'm 44, I'm still not likable by all. I actually get called names. Yes, sometimes behind my back, and then they don't ever tell you in front of your face. And that one really gets me. No, it doesn't. I saw all the liars, pants on fire that I needed to see as a teenager. So I was not surprised, and I actively don't use my brain to try and figure that stuff out. As a mystic, I do this. If somebody gets near my energy field, I say, get away from me. And then there are some things that happen that are really sad. But then you're like, I don't really know everything. So I'm not going to say any of what 4D talks about. There's no spells like that. There's no need for protection. What are you talking about, rejection? It's called we have differences. It's okay. Cool. So, peace out. See you again soon.